What's going on, boys? How you doing? What's up, Hamza? What's up, Ginger? Ilya, Sean, what's good, boys? Hope you guys had a good day today. Just give it a couple minutes. I'll give it a minute or two just to let everyone in, and then I'll start it up. All right. What up, Coleman? How you doing, bro? Gerv's in here. Christian's in here. What's good, boys? All right, we got enough in here. We got Boogie, we got Shankar, we got Ricky. Should tell Boogie to watch this too. Maybe he wouldn't have sold Vayak yesterday. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's get it going. I think a lot of people are in here. What's up, Dustin? I see you, Dusty. Killing the plays in the chat silently. All right, so we got a lot of silent killers in there, man. That TTCF I called out for July, I seen a sweep for 50K yesterday night. I didn't want to say anything in the chat, but I see you guys. I see you guys throwing big money at my plays over there. What's up, Nils? How you doing, bro? All right, let's get it going with SPY here. So yesterday I was looking at SPY last night. I was looking at this channel. So it's very clearly a channel going on in SPY here. What happened was we started right from the bottom here, nailed the top, and this one move set up the channel for the rest of the whole month. Since November we've been in this channel. So in November we were in this channel. You see every time we get close to the top we pull back, and the midline is also support and resistance. As you see, it bounced off the midline a lot, undertook it here, came back over, and then dumped below it. Stopped right at the bottom, and then it's just been playing with this midline resistance the whole way up. And Friday we dumped really bad, but we held this channel if you look at it. So we held the channel and we ran off the channel, right? So the next resistance I see for SPY is around 435, 434.50. But the way we closed today was not a very bullish closing. So let's show you what I'm talking about here. We'll get rid of this parallel line for now if I can. Can I? I don't think I can, so we're going to leave it on, whatever. Turn on pre-market. Let's see if we can see anything. Yeah, so pre-market right here you can see. So what did I tell you guys every single morning? All you have to do is go to the pre-market highs, go to the pre-market lows. This looks like the high here. This looks like the low, and that just gives you clear levels to watch. And look at the end of the day. Look where we bounced, right off the pre-market low. So if you've seen this in the morning and you set it up, you would have seen it right at the end of the day, and you could have bought calls off it. And you see how we're oversold here? So this is a perfect opportunity to buy calls right here at the end of the day. Let's see where we open up tomorrow. It looks right now, if we go sideways or down after market, that's the best case scenario for tomorrow morning, because we'll wake up tomorrow morning and SPY will be very oversold. So right now, if we bounce overnight, then anything can happen in the morning. But if we go down overnight and it continues to get oversold, tomorrow morning I'm loading calls. Like, I will load it. That's my favorite play. So that's all you have to watch for tomorrow. What happens overnight? Watch the futures. If we go completely flat into tomorrow, there's nothing. If we rise up overnight during futures, that's a bad thing as well, because it won't give us any edge tomorrow morning. But if we dip down, if we open tomorrow lower than we closed today, I guarantee you that calls will work. Well, 99% of the time they'll work. I've done this 1,000 times. So we got SPY here. We want it lower overnight. So don't get scared by red futures. We want red futures tonight. We got QQQ here. If you zoom out, there's one thing I've been watching that's a little bit scary, which is this ascending wedge right here. And look at this. We're struggling right at the top of the ascending wedge. Ascending wedges are bearish patterns, if you don't know. And what usually happens is we break the bottom. So obviously, this is a melt up is happening right now, like we've been telling you. This is not normal action. This is what usually happens right before a big correction. So let's see what happens. Right now, though, we're right at the top of the wedge. We still haven't broken through it. We keep closing below it. The first close above it is when we get really bullish and aggressive. But for right now, plays are working, so we're taking them. QQQ looks fine. Everything looks okay. Turn on the extended hours here. Same thing, I told you guys, SPY, XLF, QQQ, you got to draw those pre-market lines, man. They help a lot, trust me. It's such a simple line, And it's such a simple like thing to do. And you just see QQQ was strong most of the day. It stayed within the range. It broke below here for a second, but most of the day it was in the pre-market levels. And we closed the day above the pre-market low, which is stronger than SPY, because SPY bounced off the bottom. QQQ didn't even get to the bottom pre-market level, okay? So we got that, and we got a lot of volume here. You see all these volumes? So there's a lot of resistance here. Why is there a lot of resistance here? It's because of what I showed you earlier, which is the ascending wedge. So we have to get through this, or else we might be in a lot of trouble here. Tomorrow is a very important day for this reason on QQQ. We need to either break through with volume and close above it, or we're going to pull back to the bottom of the wedge at least. And if you look at the volume today, I know this dividend sign's in the day, but look how small the bull volume has been the last 2 days while we've been melting up. It's been like nothing there. It's called the summer volume, the summer lull right here. XLF, I think, was the weakest of the bunch. Yep, look how it closed. Very weak close on XLF. And remember what I told you guys yesterday? There's a very clear level that I told you guys yesterday. It's these yellow lines right here. So the lower yellow line, 3610, is for the gap fill, where we dumped down this day and we gap filled. So we gap filled today, but we did not get across the second level, which is 3660. 3660 was a previous resistance that turned, this was previous resistance right here that turned into support. So 3660 is key right now, because right now we are rejecting off that gap fill. Why do I say we're rejecting off the gap fill? Look at this candle. Look at the upper wick of profit taking. That means people didn't want it to close above that level. And look at the tiny volume that's been happening the last 2 days. So just keep an eye on XLF. Financials will continue to be the weakest sector until we cross 3660. So just watch those two levels that I had drawn out. As long as we're below those, it's the weakest sector. FSR this morning. Why did I call out FSR right in the morning? That's because Tanuj, this gem of a person, Tanuj, posts 100 charts in the charting section of MyStockLife every single night. If you guys looked at it, you could make a game plan, and in the morning you'd be ready. Last night I went in there, I seen this FSR, it looked beautiful. And then there was some news this morning on XPEV, the Chinese EV company. And they had some greenhouse bill or something that got passed. I don't even remember the news, to be honest. But it was good news for hydrogen companies, electric vehicles, all that kind of stuff. So I knew right away FSR is set up beautifully. XPEV will already gap up, so we're going to watch this FSR. Right in the morning, if you've seen when I called it out, I literally called it out within 5 minutes of open. Why did I call it out? One was because of that news. Two was look at the open. We gapped up and we tore through that resistance. Look at the volume that came in right at 9:30. It's very easy to see. I wrote it all day. Why did I write it all day? Look at the 8 and 21 day moving averages. The red and the orange line are the 8 and 21 day moving averages. Every time we pulled back, because I told you guys, every time we run up a lot, we have to consolidate. Every time we pulled back, we held the 21 day or we held the 8 day. All day we held the 8 day or the 21 day. Held right here, right? End of day here. This is why I sold a quarter. I quizzed you guys in the chat. You see this huge volume right here? This big bear volume bar right here. This one didn't scare me at all because we were still above the 8 day. This one scared me because we were right on the 21 day. So right away I went and I sold a quarter of my position for 88%. I'm still holding 3/4 of my position. Why am I holding it? Because these went from, we opened today at 17.85. I took $20 calls and we hit 19.41 today. So we could have almost gotten in the money on the first day, even though we have 2 weeks with these options. And as you see here, there's big volume here. But if you zoom out, it's all thin air over 1950. So we get over 1950-ish, and there's no more volume here. So you have to scroll out a little bit, see where there is actually volume. Nothing there. Let's go to the daily. Daily gives us a little bit better picture where the volume is. And as you can see here, all the volume is down here, and we just ripped through all of it. So right here, there is a little bit of resistance all the way to 23. But after that, it's just straight blue skies all the way to all-time highs. So I'm holding 3/4 of this one because we're only like 60 cents out of the money, and it's the first day we bought it on a 2-day option. So FSR I'm very bullish on. You got Trip, found by my boy Maddie. I told you guys, check out that chart section in MSL. You're going to find some gems in there. These guys are putting in work. And look at this. Like, just look at this chart right here. This has been consolidating forever. Since April, we've been consolidating on Trip. Every single time it touches this resistance line, it's pulled back. Today was the first time that we pulled through. So what happened is, the only reason I didn't get into Trip is because we're still under the 50-day moving average. That's a big key thing for me. I know a lot of people in here are good at playing names under the 50-day moving average. Like T, for example, he plays very good under the 50-day moving average. It's not my style. So right now, if the 50-day and the resistance line was matched up together, this would have been my A+ setup right here. So if the 50-day moving average was right where the resistance line is, that's called an inflection point. If it gets through there, it keeps going, like it'll run forever. But if it fails from there, that means it's still going to stay in a downtrend for a while. So that's my A+ setup, just so you guys know. Right now, it looks like a beautiful chart on its own. I still would have taken it if I didn't have so many positions, if we closed above this resistance line. Right now, we'll zoom in. Look how it rejected the resistance line. You see that big upper wick? Can't really tell if it closed above or below. And that's not something you like in stocks, when you can't tell if something happened. We wanted a bullish candle and a close. Right now, it looks like we rejected straight off that orange line, which is a 21-day moving average. That's 41.78. The high of the day today was 41.79. So that's another reason. And look, there was no volume at all for that breakout. So that's why I didn't get into Trip personally. It still could work. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's not going to work, but yeah. So here's TTCF. Called it out yesterday. Look at this beautiful bounce off the 50-day. Obviously, we didn't get the kind of day we wanted today, but look at this. They bought the dip here. We closed. It's kind of like a little hammer candle, okay? So we're going to be watching this TTCF. I'm not worried about it at all. We have, I think, like 3 weeks on this one. I think I took July 16th. And there's a lot of people in our group. I realized yesterday, I was looking through the call sweeps for TTCF last night. And I seen someone, and I looked when I called it out, and literally 30 seconds later, someone took a sweep for like $50,000 on the same contracts that I called out. So whoever you are, I mean, I see you. Tesla, obviously Tesla hasn't acted like this in a long time. Yesterday, I told you I wasn't interested in Tesla. Then someone told me to look at the daily. I think it was Dougal. Dougal sent me a picture of the daily on Tesla, and I seen this little wedge. We seen the breakout, and look, we closed above the 50-day moving average today. That's why I asked Goldman Sachs, I told him we could run another 50 points this week on Tesla, and he said no way. So my guess is 690, his is 680, just for fun, you know. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I have no idea what's going to happen, but we haven't had a run like this in Tesla in a while. And usually when we get days like this in Tesla, they lead to huge breakthroughs. So you see this very, very tight wedge? Let me show you something. Look at this very, very tight wedge. I'm not saying this is going to happen again, guys. Don't go and take $1,000 calls for next month. But look at this wedge. Look how tight it is. And look at the breakthrough follow-through we got on it. Right? Look at this wedge. Look how tight it is. Imagine we get the same breakthrough all the way to 900. And Tesla has always traded like this. It gets really, really tight until everyone gets bored of it. And then right when everyone gets bored of it, that's when it starts going crazy. You see this wedge too? So just know what you're trading, know your patterns, and look at this. Again, I'm not saying this is gonna happen. You just have to know how your name trades. Like, look at this. Look at this really, really tight wedge, right? And look at the follow through on it. Straight up like a rocket ship. Really, really tight wedge. Straight up like a rocket ship. Like, it doesn't even fit in my screen. It went straight up, right? And now look how tight this one is. Does it look similar? So just know what you're trading, know the possibility of what can happen. And like I said, Tesla could go to 690, 700 this week. Snapchat. So whoever took Snapchat, if you sold, I feel bad for you. Because Snapchat had a massive follow through today. We've been talking about the 65 level forever on Snapchat. Very, very clear level here. And look at the breakthrough with volume. 65 is a massive level on Snapchat. So right now, the only resistance left on Snapchat, if we get follow through, is 73.59, which is all-time highs. And look at, there's no volume up here. There's nobody to sell up here. This thing could rocket ship straight through to 75. So if you did good on Snapchat today, good job. But I feel like there's a lot of follow through coming on Snapchat. Plus they got earnings coming on August 11th. Okay, so you still got a couple months, month and some for earnings. But Snapchat 65 was a massive, massive level. So tomorrow, if it pulls back to 65, please someone set an alert for $65 on Snapchat. If it pulls back to 65, we're going to buy the retest of 65. Well, I will personally, you don't have to. But if it comes back down to 65 and retest it, this thing could rocket to $80 straight. Because Snapchat moves the same way. It's very explosive. Very, very explosive. Let's see if we can find another example of it. I just want to show you guys previous patterns because that's a lot of the time. Names do the same thing. People just don't have the patience for them. So you see this right here. You're probably not going to see this breakthrough through this level. 1836 used to be a big level, right? Look at all this resistance at 1836. You can scroll all the way back. Look at all these. 1836 was a big resistance, just like 65 is, right? So finally, when we broke out through 1836, we're going to zoom in a little bit, go to the hourly. Oh, it's going to completely screw up my chart. See if you can see it. Okay, but you guys get the idea. So it broke out, it retested, and it went crazy. So I'm telling you right now, 65 is a big, big level on Snapchat. So if we get a retest tomorrow on 65, everyone just keep an eye out for it. If it hits 65, call it out in the group, please. And we will be going long Snapchat if it does retest. Got Spotify here. Again, Spotify was kind of sideways today. It was kind of weaker. Not weaker, but I mean, it's still following through. It's got a lot of volume here now. On the daily, it's got a lot of volume here. And we closed above the 50-day. Everything looks completely fine. We have a gap to fill all the way up to $292. So there's no resistance until the 200-day, which is at 278. And then the next resistance is 292. And we're only at 256. We have 255 calls for next week or 260 calls for next week or something. So everything looks fine on Spotify. It's a slow mover. It's not as much volume as obviously the Googles, the Amazons of the world. But look at this. It's fine. It's completely fine. The hourly looks great. Daily looks great. Weekly looks great. And this is what I was talking about. Look at this. Look at this clear support here. Bounced off it every time. Kind of formed a head and shoulders, but it failed. And now we're going straight, right? To the moon. But yeah, that's what I was talking about. A lot of people like to find these daily beaten up charts and buy them right off the bat. What I like to do is I like to wait till they cross the 50-day moving average. So the next step is to get over the 200-day moving average, which is 278. So keep an eye on that one. Apple, no real follow through today, just completely sideways. But we did hold 133, like Ricky said this morning. I think 133 is a key level to hold. And everything looks fine on Apple too. We're kind of extended from the moving averages, especially Apple-wise. So maybe we pulled sideways, maybe we pull back a day or two, and then we continue up. Next level is 137, and then after 137 is all-time highs, which is 145. So that's all you got to watch on Apple. We might need another couple days of consolidation just because we are kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days straight up on Apple is a big deal, right? So just watch for a little bit of consolidation, but I do expect this one to be at 137 soon. Palantir with crazy follow through that 2550 level. Very, very strong day. Convincing breakout. Remember those two levels I've been drawing for you guys for weeks and weeks? 2350 and 2550 were the big levels on Palantir that we needed to get through. And right today we got through both of them. And look at the last 3 days, the volume's pretty decent. It's not bad, right? So right now on Palantir, we're kind of getting overbought a little bit. The ideal thing that's going to happen right now is we're going to go sideways a day or two. We're going to retest the 2550 and then we're going to blast off. If we keep going up like this, we're going to get overbought. And as you see here, over $30 is completely thin air all the way to all-time highs. So we're watching Palantir here. Congrats if you got in today. I know BV7 and a couple other people hit it. Congrats to you guys. Very strong. I love the stock. I still have some equity. And let's see if we follow through. Over 30 is thin air. Got space with beautiful follow through, kind of the same chart as FSR. If you remember, I just showed you FSR. Kind of the same kind of flag pattern, bottomed out, came up, passed all the moving averages, then consolidated. Space, bottomed out, came up, passed all the moving averages, then consolidated. Rip through first day, and continuation second day. I still have these for next week, the 45s. I think they're up like 30% or something. The gap fill would be complete at $42. Yeah, so we're looking for $42 gap fill on space. That'll be my first profit taking point. And same thing on FSR. There's no real gap fill here, but yeah, you see what happened. We're above all the volume shelves today. It's the main thing. So space 42, first profit taking, second profit taking at 47. And if it stays strong at 47, we might even run it all the way up to 58, 59. So those are 3 levels on space, 42, 47, 58. We got Viac with the complete ripper today. I seen that news. Someone sent me that news. I seen volume pouring into the $43 calls for this week for VIAC. And what did I do? I hit it right away. I went and I hit it on I actually usually when I see news like that and I see volume coming in, I usually just go and just hit the ask. Like I'll hit the ask and I'll just put in 200 calls, 300 calls, whatever. But today for some reason, I don't know why I didn't. I put 0.35 limit order in and it only filled me on like 60 fucking calls. I don't know why. But lesson learned, whatever. I made money, made like 60. What did we make? Like it was up like 80%, or it almost hit 100% at one point. But I scaled out for 60%. Why? Because I've seen this thing trades like a piece of shit, man. A lot of people in here can agree with me when they say VIAC trades like shit. Why do I say it trades like shit? I had those $43 calls, right? When it was up here at around 42.26, I think. It was at 42.26 on this candle. When it was on this candle, the call was up 70%, okay? Oh no, it was 42.56, I think. Yeah, 42.56 on this candle right here at 14.45 at the bottom, if you see. The call was up 70% plus. And then on this candle, when it was the exact same price, which is less than 5 minutes later, the call was only up 30%. Like, it made no sense. That's why this stock's just shit. Just throw it away. So that's why I covered quickly a lot of it. I'm still holding a little bit of it into tomorrow, but I don't really care about this shit. And then we got Clove. I seen some big flows. I think BV7 posted the flow into Clove at the end of the day. There was some big $200,000 calls that came in for $15 lottos for Clove. Why did they take them? There was a lot of volume in this one today. And if you look at the daily, I called out 3 stocks this morning in Ricky's pre-market. I said, Ricky, look at FSR, look at Trip, and look at Clove. And look, they all flew except for Trip. Other than Trip, got no love, no follow through, whatever. We didn't take that one. But Clove. And I was telling you guys $15, right? Over $15. Look at this. So this is the volume shelf right here at 15. Let me try to get that red line down here. There you go. So 15.22 is where all the volume is. If we get through the shorts at 15.22, look how thin air this. What the hell is going on with my volume shelf? Yeah, so this is 15.22, this red line. If we get through there, look at all these empty orders here. All the way to $20. So that's what I'm waiting for on Clove. I want to see it go sideways. I want to see it take out the weak hands first. And then I want to see it rip through 15. If it gets through 15, we'll load $20 calls and we'll run it all over again. We'll make some more money. But yeah, thank you guys for attending. I hope you guys learned something today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you guys go through that chart section, man. Tanuj and them putting in work. They're sending great charts. And it will make you some money tomorrow. Have a good night, boys. I'll see you tomorrow.